So can you say more about what we were talking about with interest and how that relates to motivation?
Yeah, because again, if we think in terms of sort of the secret sauce,
Yeah.
what is necessary to engage, and one of the terms, it's not one that we think of right away when we think about ADHD and about attention and interest, even is integrity.
Mm,
And again, integrity, and it's used in different ways, but at its core, it is unified. And in a person, we can think of it as whole.
right.
We're undivided, and so that's an absence of where you could use the term cognitive dissonance or any other, separating selves and interests and points of view. No, you're in integrity. There's one. Now,
Right.
it doesn't mean that you must always force to adopt one, but rather to simply find what is an integrity for you now in this place, and on the
Okay.
topic. And so that again is that feeling part of ADHD that can be a very powerful assistant or help because it gives you guidance. And many people with ADHD have a complex relationship. We all do, of course, with our emotions and different levels of how we honor or, in some cases, dishonor those
Right.
emotions. But using that as your sort of Geiger counter, you can find the areas that you need to just be aware of or look at, go into them a little bit more. And what is happening there is actually balancing. There is an alignment that winds up um, creating the integrity. So your availability to your whole self is begins to emerge, and as that emerges, motivation is a byproduct of that.
Motivation is a byproduct. Motivation
Yes,
is not, the stick that you're hitting yourself with to get things done.
right, and
Fantastic.
that's one of the reasons why we can say that again. There's so much negativity and ineffective, unproductive suffering that's created when we push that motivation thing, and damn it, can't you just want to do this, and whatever it might be,
Right.
whether we're doing that to ourselves or whether someone other forces from the outside are doing the same thing. Why can't you just do it? Well, our brain types are often, it's not that we wouldn't will ourselves to do it. It's simply that the manufactured chemistry is not there.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
no energy if the authentic purpose,
Yeah.
and if that is not internalized and known, it's a difference than understood. It's known. You
Yeah.
can say,
Conscious awareness.
I get this here. Well, that's an understanding, but that's conceptual.
Mhm.
It has to be in your body.
Yeah.
It has to get down into the whole self. And that's the integrity that we're really seeking for the emergence of interest and motivation is stems from that, which then spurs us to action. And
So,
once you have that motivation, that spur to action is authentic. And most of us with ADHD don't have any problems taking those actions once the motivation is there.
right. So, since we can't force motivation, why can't you just, what happens so that I can create that environment when I want to? How is there a practical way? I realize that it's not a switch. I may have to develop a practice that you've referred to in the past as for a behavior change method, developing a practice to change one's thinking to go in the direction that I want to go. Obviously, then there is interest and motivation attached to whatever, but I've got a pile of papers that I have to tackle, and I really don't want to, and I can't pitch them out the window. So, how do I make it happen that I develop the interest to do what I have to do?
It is situational,
Yes.
and it's particular to the topic, the event, what else is going on in a life, etc.
Right.
There may be something that is getting in the way of that.
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, of course, it's always something that's getting in the way. Now, it could be a recent event, it could be something in the way that I feel about that topic. A way, the short answer, if there was one place to look, it would be simply aligning um, to the present moment, just being consciously present and aware, which is supported by the high rate of success that people with ADHD have when they employ some form of mindfulness practice or meditation or both. Um, that is really exercising a muscle. Of course, it's not really a muscle, but it exercises the muscle to uh, be present,
Right.
which in many cases, particularly when we're being flooded by challenges and issues, and it's starting to get really complicated. Um, it's a little bit like restarting your computer.
Sure.
To take a moment and get present, get clear, um, is a way of resetting the switch. It doesn't make the problems go away, but it changes our relationship with those things, and the ones that are relevant or may not be relevant, but may be a barrier to attention, are not so prominent, are not so hard and sharply formed. We had that new perspective. So I like the metaphor of restarting your computer by just getting present,
That
which
makes a
can
lot
be
of sense.
done in a myriad of practices. Um,
Exactly. And it can
it,
be very quick too.
yes, yeah,
It,
yeah,
it doesn't have to be, spending all week doing a restart. It's not installing a new hard drive. It's just a switch. And then it
yeah.
doesn't have to be painful and, awful.
No, no,
Yeah.
it does not. And in fact, um, it it's often achieved instead of disconnecting from our body or our need to move or that it's actually um, much much more powerful and effective if you actually go there, go to the body, go to movement, and find presence there. It's there.